Escoffier. Anybody that had a good idea of what authentic goulash is, this would be the source, I would think. It even says in the first paragraph of the recipe that the principles laid down for the preparation of Hungarian goulash are vague, okay? I'm using the ingredients that are spelled out in the authentic recipe. The only difference on the way I'm doing it today is instead of onions, I'm going to be substituting shallots, okay? The rest is going to be pretty exact. Let's go. So the recipe calls for a good paprika. I figured the best way to get a good paprika is to make your own. I took 4 bell peppers and 22 mini sweet peppers, chopped them up, pulsed them in a food processor, and then put them on my smoker to dry them out. That's basically where we're at. The last thing that I need to do to these smoky dried peppers is blend them in a spice grinder. And then we have paprika. Easy. Smells awesome, dude. Time consuming, yes. Worth it, yes. My paprika turned out nice and dark from being smoked on my outside smoker. I pounded the peppers really hard. Nice thick smoke that I used with oak. I wanted it to be nice and smoky. So good.
Alright, cool. So first thing that we're going to do is cut up this 2-pound chuck roast. I'm not worried about trimming off any fat. We're just going to cut this down into 1-inch cubes. Now that the meat is all cut up, place into a large mixing bowl, and we want to season it with 1 tablespoon worth of kosher salt. I'm going to let the salt sit on the meat while we prep the rest of the ingredients. It's going to help flavor the meat, seasoning it all the way through. And it's going to be easier to sear off if the meat is closer to room temperature. Now next thing that we need to cut up is 5 carrots. I'm not worried about peeling the carrots, but you could definitely do so if you want. I'm cutting the carrots into pieces about the same size as I did the meat. Next up, we have 6 gold potatoes I'm going to quarter. You could also cut the potatoes down a little bit smaller if you want to do so. Next we have 3 shallots that we're going to quarter. Now I'm going to take tomatoes that we need to blanch in some water. Score an X on the top and then put it into some boiling water for about 30 seconds until the skin starts to wrinkle away from the flesh of the tomato. Shock the tomatoes, strain the tomatoes, and then peel the flesh from the tomatoes. Look, if you don't want to use fresh tomatoes, you could buy a good quality can of crushed tomatoes and that will work just fine. Now with the tomatoes, you want to cut them in a fashion that you try to avoid getting any kind of seeds that are going to get put into the stew. Now let's recap all the ingredients. Here's a quick overhead shot of all the ingredients that you're going to need for the goulash. So we're going to hold off on putting the potatoes into the goulash at a later point in time, so put the potatoes into some water so that they don't oxidize. Now I'm grabbing my enameled cast iron Dutch oven, cranking it over high heat and heating up until it literally starts to smoke. Go in with 2 tablespoons worth of lard, and then we want to grab our well-seasoned meat and throw it into the Dutch oven. We're talking about a goulash. The meat doesn't necessarily get that nice Maillard effect on there. We're just browning the meat and getting a little bit of color to it. That process will take about 3 minutes. Now we want to grab the shallots and place the shallots in. You give the shallots a pinch of salt. That's going to help pull out that beautiful flavor that they have. I'm going to the shallots because I love their flavor, but like I said earlier, you could substitute yellow onion. Sweat the shallots down for 3 to 4 minutes, stirring occasionally. The shallots are going to start breaking down and they're going to melt into the stew as it cooks off. Now you want to go in with a teaspoon's worth of that beautiful smoked paprika, stir it in and let it cook for about a minute. You don't want to overcook paprika because you get bitter. Now you want to go in with the flour. Give the flour a nice mix, making sure it doesn't clump up. If it does clump up, go ahead and give it a little bit of butter. Keep stirring it until the clumps are removed. You want to cook the flour taste off for about 2 minutes. Season it well with freshly cracked black pepper, 15 turns on the pepper mill. Now you want to go in with your 3 cups of beef stock. Now you want to give this a thorough yet gentle mix, scraping up any of those beautiful brown bits that are on the bottom of the Dutch oven. Now you want to go in with those cut up tomatoes. Now you want to wait until that cooking liquid is brought up to a boil. Put a lid on the Dutch oven and place it into a preheated oven that's 300 degrees F, and you want to let it go for 1.5 hours. Now you want to remove the goulash from the oven. Check the meat for doneness. By now it should start feeling a little bit tender, but it's going to have a little bit of a bounce left to it. Go in with the cut up carrots. And then you want to go in with the potatoes. Gently stir in those ingredients, making sure that you cover them ever so slightly with the cooking liquid. Put the lid back on, and now you want to put the goulash back into the oven for an additional hour. I cut up the carrots and the potatoes in a fashion that they just got cooked barely past the point of being al dente. It looks amazing, it smells amazing, and it tastes amazing. Grab yourself your favorite bowl, couple littles full of that beautiful goulash, kick back, and enjoy. Happy cooking, my friend.